stop flag of the finish.
All right, let's take a look at that. So, second lap, hot lap. First lap doesn't have enough grip in 1 and 2, in my opinion. So, on your second lap, or sorry, on your first lap, sorry, make sure you just kind of take it easy. Don't drive too hard, but make sure that you have a good run on your 3 and 4. And so we do this by running with our right sides on this seam here. I just want to kind of keep the car around there, hold it at half throttle, maybe a little more, 60 or 70%. And then as we're able to straighten out the wheel, we go full throttle and bring it all the way up to the wall. The reason that we don't go right by the wall is because this is a bit tight of an exit where you'd have to turn the steering wheel more. So we get to straighten out the wheel earlier in this case. Okay, turn 1. So this turn 1, you can approach a couple different ways. I like the starting out wide and then driving it half throttle all the way down to the bottom and then just holding it right on that white line. If you get it right on that white line, you get a bit of extra grip, especially at the beginning of the corner. So that's good. I wish I didn't get loose here. I lost probably about 3 or 4 hundredths getting that loose moment. It could have been a low 9 for sure. But the idea of it was correct. We bring it all the way down, half throttle, down to the white line. Hold it at the white line. Just let the car start to come up on its own naturally. Don't try to force it too much. Start to unload the wheel as it comes up the track. And then just a little too much early full throttle. If I held that, yeah, you see how my car kicks out right as I went full throttle there. Now I have to get loose and I have to counter steer. That's okay because I still had room to bring it up to the wall, but that would have been a lot more comfortable and even faster if I delayed that full throttle just a little bit longer. But anyways, I got loose, still have room to bring it up to the wall, and that's why we keep it down the white line, and that's a decent enough 1 and 2. All right, 3 and 4 here. I thought that the bottom was going to be the best line, but actually the middle is better, which is surprising to me. Well, not the middle per se, but like half a lane off the bottom. For some reason, right on the bottom doesn't work very well. So left sides can be anywhere between maybe halfway up the lane, and then even up to the seam would be fine. But this is probably the fastest, having it as low as it can go with still getting the grip. Yeah, I just could not get it down to the white line with any sort of drive off. So we let go easy of the throttle, just smooth out of the throttle to half. Once we get to the line we want to hit, about halfway up the lane, we stick it to that point by turning the steering wheel a little more, holding that half throttle, and then as we start to unload the steering wheel, we go full throttle, and then just kind of aim at the wall almost, because the car will rotate itself to a certain degree. I was a little close to the wall here, but that's probably what you have to do. I probably would want to kept a little lower there just for comfort and safety, but that was fine too. So remember, don't go full throttle until you start unloading the steering wheel. So we held it at half, held it at half, held it at half. Now the wheel's starting to come back, it's starting to come back, and then we raise the throttle. All right, now let's go take a look at long run. So this is probably going to get pretty multi-groove because of the oval refresh. Atlanta is one of those tracks, Old Atlanta especially, where that kind of happens. So there are different lines that you can approach. Usually, I'll show you the best line for old track that's hot is you start wide, you bring it down to the bottom, and you kind of straighten out the exit by late apexing. You see how that's not even that slow on the short run too, but that's going to be really good on long run because that requires like the least amount from your car. Then 3 and 4, you can run it on the bottom on the short run. I don't think there's any problem with missing the bottom and running that half a lane up. You can do that late apex in 3 and 4 as well. It's just not as good as it is in 1 and 2. 1 and 2, this late apex is like the long run line. Start high, let it come down low, late apex on the bottom, and then you straighten out your exit. You see that run we get? That run can even be got on old tires because our wheel is essentially straight. 3 and 4, we can even run towards the wall a bit. Let the car kind of rotate itself under the throttle. You know, that line is actually pretty good even for hot lap. Now that I saw how that line runs, that might be the hot lap line. So you know, you guys should probably experiment with that. I'm not going to go over too much. That's the dangers. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to get super loose on the corners because that heats up your tires. So whatever line you're doing, make sure you're committing to not going crazy on the throttle until your wheel is really straightening out. I think top might be really good in 3 and 4 in the long run, and I think this late apex can be really good in 1 and 2. Let me try top of 1 and 2 real quick. Yeah, it just doesn't have the same amount of grip that the top of 3 and 4 has. Like, I get the run. This is definitely going to be a pretty crazy race in terms of long run lines. Yeah, this is no man's lane. You don't want to be in no man's lane. If you're gonna go high, go high. Yeah, definitely. So when you're picking a lane, you either want to go straight bottom, hug the bottom, you either want, or late apex the bottom, or run right by the wall. If you run that no man's land line in the middle, especially on the upper side of it, the lower side of it's probably fine down here, but the upper side of it up here, there's like, it's the worst of both worlds. So really avoid that line. If you're gonna go top, just practice committing to the top. Let's go take a look at our tires, even though we didn't do too many laps there. Okay, yeah, a little bit more on the right rear, which is fine. That just means that you want to be really careful getting back to full throttle. Make sure that you're not sliding it ever. Just manage that heat in the tire. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.